It began with the smell of scorched cotton. On the 8th floor of the ash building, sunlight poured through the windows, gleaming off sewing needles and bare metal tables. It was just past 4:40 p.m. on a Saturday, and the shift was nearly over. Girls, some as young as 14, worked in tight rows, heads down, their fingers flying across blouses meant for department stores uptown. Many barely spoke English. Most earned a few dollars a week, but none expected to die at their machines. A flicker, then a hiss. Someone shouted. The flame came from a pile of fabric scraps beneath one table, likely sparked by a match, a cigarette, maybe faulty wiring. It didn't matter. The floor was a fire trap. Within seconds, the fire leapt from one bundle of cotton to the next. The ceiling caught. Panic swept the room. Girls screamed, knocking over chairs and stamping toward the elevators. But there were only two, and one wasn't working. The first elevator came up once, crammed with bodies. The operator made a second trip, then a third. By the fourth, flames were spilling into the shaft. He couldn't come back. Some tried the stairwell. But the door to the Washington Place stairs had been locked, standard practice to keep workers from sneaking out early. Others ran to the Green Street stairs, but smoke poured upward, blinding them. They stumbled, slipped, and burned alive in the narrow corridor. On the 10th floor, someone phoned the 9th to warn them, but no one ever called the 8th. The fire reached it first. At the windows, girls clustered together, trapped by the flames and the locked doors behind them. Some screamed for help, some jumped. Bystanders on the street below watched, helpless, as bodies struck the pavement like sacks of cloth. One man tried to catch a girl in a sheet. It tore. She hit the ground head first. Firefighters arrived quickly, but their ladders only reached the 6th floor. They aimed their hoses, but the pressure was too low. Their safety net split under the weight of falling bodies. On the 9th floor, a man held a woman's hand. He kissed her once, then they leapt together. When it was over, 146 people were dead. Most were immigrant women, Italian and Jewish, earning pennies in a factory where exits were locked and fire drills were never practiced. Some were so badly burned they couldn't be identified. Others were found huddled in corners, faces buried in their arms as if praying. The owners, Isaac Harris and Max Blank, had survived. They'd fled to the roof and crossed over to a neighboring building. Weeks later, they were indicted for manslaughter, but they were acquitted. The jury said it couldn't be proven they knew the doors were locked. In a civil suit, they paid $75 per victim. 2 years later, Blank was caught locking factory doors during business hours. He was fined $20. But the public outrage wouldn't fade. The Triangle fire shook the city, galvanizing reformers, labor unions, and outraged citizens. It forced changes in fire codes and workplace safety laws, but none of it came in time for the girls who died surrounded by cloth and smoke and steel. Their ashes were swept from a floor that kept sewing the next week, and in the city's memory, their screams never left the air. Thank you for listening to Road to Ruins. Subscribe for more true stories where systems fail and people pay the price.